This is CAD 1.1 slotted plate. So you probably haven't used Solid Edge before if you're looking at this tutorial. Just refresh my screen there because it was lagging. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of quick things about Solid Edge. The first thing about Solid Edge is there's not too many tools to remember, but we're in a Solid Edge part file. So you always usually start with a part file. And these are the main tools within the part file that you should be able to find: extrude and cut, which is currently grayed out, and revolve protrusion and revolve cut, and things like round and that. The only one we're going to worry about right now for exercise 1.1 is extrude. Okay, so going to select the extrude tool. If you ever get lost using a tool, there's the prompt bar down the bottom, and it always gives you an instruction as to what to do next. And it says click on a planar face or reference plane. Here in the middle we've got the 3 reference planes, so we can choose one of those, and you'll notice it rotates and orientates itself to face us, so we just see the crosshair. Now in the slotted plate we really only need to draw the front face of the slotted plate, and we can do that with the line tool quite easily. We'll start with the bottom left corner, and we'll do the full width of the slotted plate, which is 120. Notice that I've clicked and then I'm moving my cursor freely after I've clicked that first point, and on the left I've typed that in, and once I press enter you'll notice that it snaps to that length and won't make it any longer or any shorter. The angle is still changing. I can snap it to a perfect horizontal, and you'll notice that the cursor changes and comes up with a little icon next to it to indicate that that's a horizontal line. So I'm going to place that perfectly horizontal, then I'm going to come up. Now if I work it out, 72, that's the full height. Take away the 2 smaller heights, 32 and 20, actually gives me a result of 20. So I'm going to type in 20 over on the left, and then it wants to snap to a point, which is a bit of a problem obviously because I don't want it to snap to a point. So I'm going to actually put in the angle as well, 90, so it goes straight up and down without, you know, trying to snap to one of those reference planes. Now I need to come in 50, so I'm going to type 50. See the lines continuing on from the last line. Now it wants to again snap to that reference plane, which is not quite 180 degrees, so I'm actually going to have to type in 100 minus 180 because it was a minus in front of it, and you'll notice that it won't snap to the reference plane. Instead it will do that angle 180 degrees. So if you ever are drawing close to the reference plane and it's trying to snap to the reference plane, try and avoid it and make sure you get the right angle and get what you want out of it. So now I'm going to come straight up, so I type in 20, enter. I'm coming straight up and I'll click to accept that line. Then I'm going to come straight out again. You can see here we've got a vertical line coming off the bottom, sort of a dashed line, to say that point is going to be in line with the bottom line end. So I can just snap that, being for a horizontal as well, and then we're going to go up 32, so enter, and you'll see that the height's coming up. Again, it's going to snap to a vertical and it comes up with that little icon next to my cursor. Oh, it decided just in the last second to just come off the perfect horizontal that I had, so I'm just going to go Control Z, undo, and I'll just do that line again. When I start from an existing line, if I move my cursor to the end of the line, you'll notice that again the icon next to my cursor changes to which looks like a point on the end of a stick. So if I know I'm going to be attaching to the end of that line if that icon comes up, which is really helpful. Otherwise it doesn't think it's closed. So I'm going to try that again. 32, enter, straight up and down. Beautiful, much better this time. I'm going to come back in 30, type in 30, enter, come back in. Now I don't know the angle coming back down here or the length or anything like that, so I'm just going to right click to end that line, and I might just start here again, coming to the end of the line. You can see that the cursor, little icon next to the cursor, is that little round, that point on a stick, so I know I'm coming to the end, going to attach the end of that line. So I just click on the end, and then I'm going to come up 20, enter, and then all I have to do is join one point to the other, and then right click, and I've got my full shape there, and all I need to do is extrude that by 22. So I went close sketch. You can see here when I hit close sketch, it should come out of that with no problem. If you do have errors, you've got to hover on the error to see where it's highlighting the error. Okay, so I'm just going to place this. Oop. It thinks it's got a distance going on. I don't want distance 200. You'd notice that the distance is hidden down here. Okay, so I'm going to toggle down to that, and I'm going to type 22, enter. You can see the distance is a lot more like the given drawing on your sheet. So it's still saying which direction do you want to go. It really doesn't matter at this point. I'm just going to go backwards. The blue line is indicating that it hasn't finalized. I need to get rid of that blue line, otherwise it is not a finished drawing. I can either right click in here to finish that, or I can click the finish button. Okay, so there is 1.1 slotted plate. Now you need to save your drawing file, save as, save in a logical place, like don't call it part 1 because you'll end up with a lot of solid edge drawings and you don't want them all called the same thing. Give it something logical like slotted plate, and I even say 1 slotted plate. Okay, and put it in a file called solid edge. Okay, so there you go, there's 1.1. Well done.